Welcome to Theater Begins Here, a podcast for our Playwright Center members by the small but mighty team that supports you. I'm Hannah Joyce, Director of Membership Programs, and this is
Alayna, Jacqueline, Membership Programs Manager. And as Hannah said, we are the membership team that supports our 2,400 plus playwright members around the world.
Okay, what is this podcast and why are we doing one? Well, we send out a survey at the end of each season asking for feedback, questions, suggestions, needs, and more. And this podcast was created in response to the feedback on that survey. Playwrights have some really important questions and topics that they want addressed, and we are in a position to invite artists to join us and have conversations about these things to sort of grapple and illuminate hopefully some steps forward. This first session today is just going to be super simple. It's just me and Alayna. We'll be talking about the resources that are available to you as a playwright member through the Playwright Center website and talk about how you can best take advantage of all those resources. There will always be a link at the bottom of this event on our website, and we invite playwrights to send more questions and conversation topics our way so that as we move through the months, these conversations can be relevant and timely. And we hope the podcast format means that folks can listen in their car, on a walk, as they're making dinner or doing chores or whatever it is that you are doing when you're listening to a podcast. And the bonus is that you can join us live and send questions in while we're chatting, or you can send your questions in ahead of time and you don't have to be here with us at the prescribed time. We like giving people lots of choices and making things as easily accessible as we can. So that's what this podcast is and why we are doing it. So the first thing we'd like to tell you about is our upcoming education season, our seminars and workshops. And I am going to let Alayna do the honors here. She has curated a really beautiful and thoughtful educational season for you. And I am very excited for you to hear all about it.
Yeah, so I'm really excited about this education season. We have some really great instructors, and I really want to highlight for our members, this lovely membership benefit is that you are discounted for any of the multi-week classes or the seminars. Coming up at the end of this month, we have a teaser class with Lucas Beisch, and it is called World Building from the Ground Up. And that will be Monday, October 26th from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Central Time. And then at the start of November, we have another online seminar called How to Begin, which is taught by one of our core writers, Steph Del Rosso. And that will be on Monday, November 7th. And that is also from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Central Time.
So you called Lucas's seminar a teaser. What is it a teaser for?
Yes. Throughout our education season, you will see that we have a few teaser classes, and that is to just give you a small taste of our university course program classes. These are semester length classes that you can get undergrad or graduate credit for if you are continuing in school. You also don't necessarily need to be a student to participate in that. Our university course program is in partnership with Augsburg University. And again, these are semester length classes, and these teaser classes are just a little taste so you can get to know Lucas's teaching style and see if you have interest in learning more about world building for 15 weeks of class.
The other thing I really appreciate about the university course programs is that we are working with a number of colleges and universities around the country and internationally to make it easier for students to enroll and be able to use their financial aid from their schools to be able to afford these classes. So if folks are thinking that would be cool, but I don't know how that's possible, definitely reach out to us and to the folks in the running the UCP program, because they have figured out how to make this possible for lots of people who thought they weren't going to be able to do it.
Yes. For further information, please go to our website and check out the university course program links that are up.
So do you want to talk about our script feedback?
Yes, I would love to talk about script feedback. I feel like script feedback is one of the big things that members come to us about. Somebody, please read my play. And there are a variety of ways that we now offer script feedback. One of the ways, some of the ways are free and without a fee, and other ways come with a fee so that we can pay the playwrights who are giving the deep feedback on these plays. So I'll start with our one-on-one dramaturgy program. And that actually is growing a bit, so that we're going to be expanding our pool of playwright dramaturgs who are offering this feedback. And that will be reflected on our website in the coming months. So we have a small group of playwright dramaturgs on the website now, but as I mentioned, it'll be growing. Basically, you can just look through their bios and see a little bit about them, what kind of plays they write, also what kind of plays they like to work on, and determine for yourself who you'd like to work with. And we usually, we have an online form, and we ask you to pick 2 people, because sometimes your first choice might not be available. And if both of your choices aren't available, then I'm happy to kind of make a recommendation based on the folks that we have in our network. And sometimes people are a little skeptical about working with a dramaturg because they've had an experience in the past where it didn't go well, or they are thinking about a dramaturg as somebody who's going to try to rewrite their play. So I think it's nice to know that for this program, these dramaturgs are really there to help the playwrights write the play that they want to write. They're going to ask questions instead of making suggestions for your play. They're going to point out things that they're noticing that are working, or maybe need a little bit more development, or spots that are confusing, or where the structure isn't consistent through the play, and give just really useful notes, I think, for continuing in the development of the play. Do you want to talk a little bit about our free program, Script Club, which is new this year too?
Yes, Script Club is super new. We're launching it. We're in the process of launching it right now, collecting the plays and everything. And I just really want to highlight a thing that you had said, is that dramaturgs and our script feedback programming in general is about making sure that you are writing the play that you need to write in the way that you need to write it. Mm-hmm. That's just something that's really important. Being a writer myself, is that you're surrounding yourself with the people that are making sure that you're progressing the way that you need to, and the story is coming out the way that you feel it needs to be told and shared. So that is the primary goal of our script feedback programming. And with Script Club, we really wanted to provide a way where more playwrights could share their work and receive feedback with playwright community that we've been building. And with this free program, it's connecting script readers with new plays from our playwright members. And each month, we're probably going to share about 3 to 4 member scripts. These members who would like feedback on their scripts will submit their plays via an online form, which you can see if you look into that event. It is linked there for you to submit and also to sign up to be a reader. Playwright members who would like to participate as a reader may offer feedback with addressing very specific questions for each individual script. This feedback will be shared with that playwright member to help them continue to develop their play. You can read and respond to as many scripts as you like in your own time. You have that entire month of reading that play collection. And what's really great is you can even give feedback on scripts you didn't complete or even start reading. I know that sounds really strange.
Yeah, what does that look like?
I know that sounds really strange.
Back on the play that I didn't read.
Exactly. It's helpful to know why someone didn't pick up your script.
Okay, so if I was like, oh, this is 160 pages long and I don't have time for it, and I could say, this play looked like it was too long, so I didn't read it.
Right.
It would be something I might say.
That's really helpful. Or I started reading it and then the content in it stopped interesting me.
Okay.
And so, okay, you put the play down. Now I know why you put the play down. Or I read the blurb and I am not interested in historical fiction. Then it's like, oh, it had absolutely nothing to do with me. You as a reader are just not interested in historical fiction.
Right. In this topic. Okay.
So it's super helpful to know why somebody didn't pick up your script or why they put it down. So all feedback is helpful. And we will be compiling everybody's responses to you and sending that by the end of the month to those playwrights. And then we just start that cycle all over again.
That's cool. So if I sign up 1 month, do I need to sign up each month that I want to have a play read if I didn't get my play read, or
no? So if you are someone that is super excited and you apply and your script is not selected that month, don't worry. You don't have to keep on reapplying each month. You are just put into the queue. Mm-hmm. And as we start to schedule, we will try and schedule out as fast as possible. It's primarily on a first come, first serve basis, but we do have an evaluation process when it comes to selecting scripts. We have our apprentices that are reading those and making sure whether they recommend the script. If there are some things that we feel like we need to address with the playwright, we can. At the center, we're not into censorship, but we definitely want to ask questions and make sure that you as the playwright know what your intentions are and are able to express your intentions, but also you're very aware and you're being responsible of the impact of those intentions.
Yeah, I mean, I have that question for you. Sometimes I've been reading a play and suddenly there was really graphic violence that I didn't know was coming up. And I know we all have our own triggers. Is there a way to kind of know about that sort of stuff up front in case I'm a sensitive reader in certain ways?
Absolutely. We have content advisories for each of the scripts. It's the way for you to evaluate, is this play right for you? Without giving away certain aspects, because sometimes there is something that's in the climax of the play that you don't quite want to give away, or it's a plot twist. So we will give you the general content advisory. And I always, always, always let people know that you can come to me, you can email me or call me, and I will give you all the spoilers. I will let you know what happens. If you're concerned about something and you need to ask questions, I will tell you the entire plot if you need that. And we just really want to make sure that it's an accessible and it feels like a safe space and an accountable space for everybody.
Is there a benefit to me reading and responding to many, many plays, like being an active reader in this program?
Yes, being an active reader, one, helps you as a writer. That's first and foremost, is you become a better writer when you become a better reader. Mm-hmm. And reading other people's work might help inspire you as well. And also benefit with Script Club is that the more that you read, the higher up that you go up on the queue. We really want to make sure that the plays that are getting read are by active members. So we're building community through this program, and we want to make sure that it's not you just submitting your script and you don't want to be a part of the process of helping someone else develop their script. We really want this, again, to be community building and a connection, because somebody that's in California can get feedback of Midwestern life from someone in Idaho. And it's just really great to get all of those different perspectives and those different sides. So one, don't think that your feedback isn't necessary. We definitely want it. And I think you'll become a better writer if you're a stronger reader. And we want to reward those that are being active in that program.
So we used to have a program called Member Open Play.
Yes.
And it was a favorite program. Can you talk a little bit about what that program is and about what the next chapter is, because lots of people are asking?
Yeah, we do have some people that are veterans when it comes to Member Open Play. They've seen it in several iterations. And Member Open Play, for those that don't know, was the original free script feedback program for all members at any experience level to support each other through script sharing and feedback. That actually happened in person at first, where we would meet. we would choose one playwright for that session, and we would read that play in its entirety. So we would not cast actors. We don't hire actors or directors or dramaturgs for these gatherings. Instead, it's just whoever shows up, and we will just randomly cast you, knowing that not all of the parts everyone's going to be fitted for. But we have fun. We are fully open, and we recognize that. And we read the script to the best of our ability. And then we take a quick break, and then we come back and respond to several feedback questions and respond to the playwright and any of the questions that they have. And it's just nice because we are gathered together in space. Right now it's virtual space. Mm-hmm. And we've also had it hybrid, where we have some people physically in the room, some people on screen, which is really fun because then you can get people in different time zones and different parts of the world joining in and reading. And those sessions just have been very helpful to a lot of our members. When it comes to immediate script feedback, you get to hear it out loud, which is not an opportunity that everyone gets to have. And then you get to discuss your script deeply with the people in the room after just reading it. We've had various versions of what this program looked like, and Hannah and I decided to take a slight pause in the program just so we could reevaluate it and make sure that we were serving the most members in the deepest way possible. Mm-hmm. And so from that was born Script Club, and we started looking at member open play again and decided to kind of use Script Club as a filter into member open play. And we're looking to start that up and running next year. So look out for that. We will have another announcement in a future podcast to make sure that you know about it. We are very, very excited about the new chapter of what member open play will look like. As we were revamping one program, another one was born. And awesome. Yeah, so we're really, really excited about that. And thank you for all who want to experiment and explore that with us.
Yeah, I mean, I keep hearing from people, when's member open play coming back? So it's nice to kind of see the steps forward, and to know that in the meantime, people are getting script feedback from each other through Script Club, and that the plays from Script Club can have a life in member open play down the road. And it's just another reason to be as engaged as possible in this new Script Club program, so that we can see what happens as time goes on and start to hear plays. And when you say next year, you mean 2023, which is like, I can't even look a few months around the bend.
Yeah.
What is happening?
Yeah, 2023 is
right around the corner. So
yeah,
so don't sleep. Right. Get your plays in and join us for Script Club. Remember, open play will be here before we know it.
Yes.
Well, I'd love to talk a little bit about some of our other resources that are on our website for members. And the first of which is our articles. A number of years ago, we started commissioning playwrights and other theatrical artists and collaborators to answer questions in written form and through these articles. And today those articles live in both the articles page on our website, which is behind the member paywall, and then also on our toolkit page, which, you don't have to be logged in to see. Anybody can read those. And right now, I will confess, they're not very organized. So you have to scroll through the ones that are of interest. But over the next 6 months, we actually plan to have a new kind of page and way to sort and search for all of those. So, keep an eye out for that in the coming months. But there have been some really cool articles, and they run the gamut from kind of being sort of educational or kind of prescriptive about this is how you do something, to being prompts for writing. So I can say, I'll mention two of my favorite articles. Maybe you have some too. One of them is by Catherine Trishman, and it is on writing character descriptions. And I think it's super useful and actually made me laugh. It's fun too. So check out that article for sure. And another one I love was written by Winter Miller, and it is a writing prompt to set up a whole weekend of writing. And so I love that one too. It's kind of like a mini writing retreat that you can kind of do on your own time. But then there are like really practical ones on like how to write an artistic statement or how to format your script. That's a big one that we get asked about a lot.
Like formatting your resume.
Yes, and formatting your resume.
And bio. Yeah.
Yeah. So definitely check out our articles and our toolkit pages for, stuff that maybe you didn't realize was out there. That's been one way that we have tried to kind of respond to people's questions without having a whole seminar or a class about them. And then this new podcast is kind of our new way of trying to have these conversations with our members and with guests to talk about these questions that come up that need answering. So it's kind of a fun way to disseminate the information and include our members in the conversation. Another, and maybe the most popular resource for our members on our website is our Play Submission Opportunities database.
Yeah.
It is the most robust and curated play submission opportunity database I am aware of in the entire world. The last time I counted, when I was looking at like the full year of opportunities, we had added 950 new opportunities to that database within a year. It's sortable, searchable, and is really designed to save our members time. You could spend upwards of 40 hours a week finding these opportunities yourself for free, but that's so much time and effort. And instead, we have apprentices who are doing that work for you. And by the way, just shout out to our apprentices every year right now, Kennedy, Emma, and Franny, who do this, deep, thoughtful work. And what they're trying to do is make it so that you can tell just from the first tile whether you're interested in the opportunity and eligible, so that you don't have to dig into the fine print to find it yourself. They've got it all on that first little tile. And then once you look at that tile and you say, yeah, this is something I'm eligible for and I would love to apply for, then you can click into view and read more about it and find out all of the guidelines for applying. They can be bookmarked. You can also sort and search by category, by what kind of opportunity it is, how you identify as a writer, lots of different ways. And you can also mute an opportunity if you are like, oh, this isn't for me. And then you've looked at it and you don't accidentally look at it again. You can also add these opportunities to our Play Submission Tracker, which is also a resource we have on our website. And a lot of people really love this because you can you can start to kind of type in the title of the opportunity and it will autofill for you. And then you can say you applied and the date you applied. You can go back in later and you can update it. I got a response back, accepted or on hold or, whatever it is. This was the play I submitted. So it's a really cool way to just have all of the stuff tracked in one place. And if an opportunity wasn't in our database, you found it elsewhere, you can also fill in your own manual stuff. So it doesn't have to only exist in our database for you to be able to use the submission tracker for it.
I think that I really love about the opportunity database is like, if you're somebody that is aggressively applying for things, and when I say aggressively applying, I mean leisurely, you should be applying around like 30 to 60 places if you want one thing.
Yeah.
But I mean, like for the people that aggressively are like, no, I'm trying to hit triple digits in submissions. Right. This is just such a huge time saver. And then also the apprentices are vetting these as well. Like if there's something on there that seems a little bit sketchy or you're unsure about, they are calling or emailing those spaces.
Yeah.
We also take feedback from other people that have received any of those opportunities. If you have won any of these competitions, we'd love to hear your experience and just knowing, yeah, this was really great. or actually, no, this wasn't the same opportunity that they had originally advertised.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really important for us to know, because it lets us know how to properly present it on our website. I think that the apprentices do a really great job deep diving and making sure that all that information is really clear, and they are looking at the fine print so that you can see it a lot easier on our website.
Yeah. And if you or anyone you know has opportunities, or you're trying to collect plays, or you're starting a new play festival or whatever it is, it's free to post. You can fill out a form on our website, pwcenter.org/opportunities, or you can also just email one of us or the apprentice email to send that in. And if you see something out there that we don't have on our website, feel free to just say, hey, you guys didn't list this, please do. And we're always happy to get suggestions from you, because, you know, we're humans. We're not, I don't know, robots. So we're still trying to find these as human beings. And we don't always catch them. So we love it when you let us know what we've missed. Or if you see something on our website that was an ongoing opportunity and now it's changed or it's not happening anymore, we do try to catch those ourselves. But if you catch it before we do, please let us know.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about successes and bulletins?
Yeah. We know that part of the reason playwrights are members is that they're looking for community and connection. And that is, I think, my favorite. I don't want to speak for you too, Alayna, but I think it's our favorite thing about this program is that it is a community and it feels like community. And we're always trying to find ways to make that, you know, a really tangible thing for folks. One of the tools on our website that makes this possible is our bulletins page, and then the other is our successes page. Our bulletins, members can post a bulletin and it will show up in the feed on the dashboard on the website. And it's intended to be, and it also goes out in the monthly e-bulletin that I send. And it's really intended to be a place where you can share out, you know, information you want people to know, like there's a discount for an upcoming production of my play, or hey, there's a Zoom reading of my play on Saturday, so click this link to sign up. Or, you know what, I want to start a writers group of emerging writers in Philadelphia. Who's with me? So it's a way to kind of gather people together in these different ways. That's what a bulletin is. And then a success is something a little bit different. We want to celebrate and lift each other up. And we also know that successes are different for every person. It could be a reading, a production, a publication, or simply, I just finished writing my first play. Whatever success means to you, post it on our website and let us celebrate with you. It will get added to your profile page, and it will show up on the dashboard as well. And then I send out an e-bulletin once a month that is an aggregated list of the latest play submission opportunities that were added, the ones that have a deadline coming up in the next month, all the member successes from, you know, that past month, and any bulletins that members posted. So you can kind of see it in one spot and you can say, hooray, you know, Jamie got a production, or Frankie just finished their 50th play, or, you know, whatever it is. And it's just a really fun way to kind of see each other, celebrate each other, and really feel like we're a part of a community. So we did a member survey.
We did do a member survey.
And you all filled it out. And we try to do that every year because we know that our field is changing all the time, that the needs of playwrights are changing, that the conversations about the world and the things that matter evolve, and that the technologies that are available to us are new and different as well. So we use the responses we receive in the survey to program our season of resources, educational offerings, script services, and how we deliver them to you. But, you know, separate from that survey, we love it when you email us or call us to share a need or give us feedback or let us know how we can support you as an artist. All of that is fodder for the programs that we offer, and also our website. You may have noticed over time that the website is changing and growing, and especially the play submission opportunities database, which most people use the most, the topics for classes, all of that stuff. That's all in response to things we've heard from all of you. So keep it coming. Thank you so much for being so communicative and helping us to support you the best way we can.
I mean, that's how we got Script Club.
Yes, that's right.
That's how the education season is programmed, pulling in instructors. It's definitely how we're going to be building more episodes for this podcast. Mm-hmm. Especially shout out to the next one. We'll announce it a little bit later. That's how we're gaining a lot of the topics, is what you're putting in as like, what are the things that excite you about theater? What are the things that make you a little bit nervous? What might be discouraging you? We really want to talk about those. And yeah, it's just finding various ways to talk about those in a deep way and in a way that you can feel supported by this community.
Yeah. Will you talk a little bit about our membership agreements?
Yes. Our membership program agreements. This has been developed by Hannah and I, and then also working in partnership with several colleagues, of just trying to figure out what are the group agreements that we want to have in all of our programming, whether it is our script feedback, what are the expectations for the dramaturg and our member playwright when they're in space together and when they're communicating? What are the expectations of instructor and participants, students in the virtual classroom? What do we all know and expect from each other when we walk in? And one of the things that has really been coming up as we've been discussing is we really, really want to hold an accountable space. We want to make sure that people feel safe in that space. We want to make sure that people feel like they can experiment without judgment, that their intentions are what people are looking at first. But we also understand that intentions can be missed or mistaken. Mm-hmm. So we really want to make sure that we are all coming in with some group agreements that are our touchstones as we begin any session, any class, any form of programming. Before you're introduced to anything, we make sure that you have completed and filled those out. You must fill those out for each individual program or class session that you are entering into. We have that expectation, so you will not be able to enter that virtual space until you have agreed to those agreements. And I really highly suggest that you look at those. If there are things that you want to discuss that are on there, we are happy to do so. It's not etched in stone. It is digital, so we can update that at any time. Yeah. But it's great to have conversation of what do we mean by those things? Should there be anything that's added? We've also included links to the mission of the Playwright Center and vision and our values, also our land acknowledgement, our vision and hopes for accessibility in our organization. And so we just thought that it was really good for us to have a membership programs agreement so that we all kind of walk in on the same page and knowing what it is to be in that space, and also know that it's a privilege to be in that space. We're able to come together, and that is just a privilege. We're able to come together and explore and experiment and create art together. And we just want to make sure that it's upheld to the best of our abilities.
Yeah, we're all taking responsibility together.
Yeah. So you just talked about accessibility. Can you talk a little bit about what that means practically for our programming?
Yeah. As a part of our membership programs agreements, we have a section where we ask, is there anything that you need to fully participate in the virtual classroom? That can we include a list of things that we can provide, such as captioning, an interpreter. If we're in a physical space, that can be Braille printings or large print copies of things. We want to make sure that you have the opportunity to address any needs that you may have. We want to make sure that it is an accessible space for you and that you feel included. And we also keep in mind in the virtual space about Zoom fatigue. We know that it's real and it's alive, still late in the game of the pandemic. So we don't require you necessarily to leave your video on. If you do need to step away from the computer, that's perfectly fine. We just always let one of the facilitators or the teaching assistant know, so that when you return, we can just catch you up on anything that you missed. And also, speaking of things that you missed, we are taking detailed notes throughout the entire session. So you can always look back at any discussions, whether they're in the chat, whether it's something that the instructor said, and just catch up. We send those usually about a week after the session. And we also include additional resources that might have been shared via the screen share with the instructor. We also have a resource section of those notes, and they're very detailed. Sometimes the instructor or your fellow classmates might riddle off names of playwrights, names of plays that you might not know. We make sure to jot those down and send links to them, and make sure that you have access and can always look back at those if you didn't know what or who they were before. We've even dropped this down to music playlists and hair care products. So anything that's discussed, we will always share with you, and it's always unique to that session.
That's so amazing. It's such a great supplement to those classes. I also want to mention that we want to keep the classes and membership accessible in a financial way to folks. So we are aware that sometimes financial difficulties can prevent people from participating, and we don't ever want that to happen. So for our membership, in general, if folks need assistance, they can reach out and ask for a waive of the fee, or they can tell us how much they can afford for the year or the month. And we also provide really generous payment plans for our classes, especially our multi-week classes, so that folks can pay those over time if they don't have the money to pay them fully upfront.
Yes, and you can reach out to either one of us when it comes to the education season. You'll want to reach out to me. And when it comes to our memberships, you can feel free to reach out to Hannah. Either way, reach out to one of us and we'll make sure to point you in the right direction.
We got a question while we were talking about script feedback from somebody who wanted to know about whether or not the script needed to be a final draft to be included, whether it could still be in its early stages. What stage of development are we accepting of scripts for script club, and also for one-on-one? Well, I can talk about one-on-one dramaturgy and a member open play.
Well, I feel like as a writer, is there such thing as a final draft? Is that a real thing? I'm like, even when it's published, there's so many writers that are like, just kidding, and then have a different version of it. Mm-hmm. Somebody once said, and I thought it was the most brilliant thing in the world, is the draft is never finished. It's never done. It's just due.
Oh,
I was like, oh, that's so brilliant. It's just due. Like, right. It's due to the publisher. No, you're not finished with it. So because that is my philosophy of writing, you can submit any draft that you would like. We are a development center, so we are always believing that scripts are in the development stage, whether it is pre-workshop, workshop stage, pre-production, production, you're always having a working draft. So it does not matter what stage your script is at. You can even submit, I will speak at least for Script Club and Member Open Play, an incomplete script, because you might have questions of, where does this play go? I don't know how to end it. I won't know how to end it until I get some feedback on the beginning of it. Or maybe you don't have the beginning of it. You just have, I have the middle and the end, and I have absolutely no clue where to start this play, which can be one of your questions that you can have for your readers and Member Open Play. So any and all drafts, we're ready. That is the lovely process of new play development.
Yeah, and also just in terms of Script Club too, we're accepting scripts all the time. So if you're, working on something and it's not quite ready and you want to get it to a different place before you have people read it, don't feel like, oh shoot, now I won't be able to have it read this season. Engage in reading the plays that are submitted and coming up to begin with as you're working on your own. And when you do submit it, then it'll be, higher in the queue because you've been engaging with the program already as a reader, but we don't want you to have to rush and like feel like you have to get it. If there are other questions.
There is one that I want to make sure we've also been addressing questions from that people have submitted previously throughout our discussions, but one of them is for you, Hannah. If I sign up for the $8 a month membership, can I turn it off when I want to, or do I have to stay on for a year?
This is a great question. So for our membership fee, right now it's set up so that you can pay either $75 for an annual membership, and that starts when you pay for it. So if it's not a January to December membership, it's the year from when you started it. Sometimes people think, I don't want to pay $75 and only get 6 months of the membership. That's never going to be an issue. We also have the $8 a month option, and that can be turned on and off at your discretion. When you sign up, it'll automatically sign you up for an auto renew, but you can click a button to turn it off, or you can log in after a couple of months if you're busy and you're just not using it, or you're taking a break from writing, or whatever it is, you can always pause that membership. I will encourage you, if you are at a place in your life where you're pausing it due to financial constraints, please message us first before deciding to turn it off. We'll definitely be able to give you some assistance so that you don't have to pause it for financial reasons. Another thing I wanted to mention, because we just posted these on our website, we have another sort of resource at the Playwright Center, which is our fellowships and our core writerships. And those are an application that happens every year. This is for deep support from the Playwright Center. The Jerome and Minnie Voices fellowships require residency in Minnesota while you're on residence, or while, if you receive a fellowship, you need to either live here already or move here for the length of the fellowship. The Core Writer program does not require that you live here and is a 3-year term, and you would get brought in each year for a play development workshop where we would pay you and all your collaborators and cover the cost of your transportation and lodging. So I just wanted to mention that because that just was posted on our website this week. And speaking of script feedback, the thing that I really appreciate about any of the fellowships that you apply for through the Playwright Center is that we gather the feedback from the respondents. Each year, there are different people reading your scripts. So if you're applying every year, you're going to have different readers. Our colleague, Julia, who runs this program, just told us the other day that she has a list of 900 professionals around the country who are reading these scripts. You can just imagine how amazing it is to get your play read by somebody who's working in the theater as a professional around the country, just to have your play in their lap on their screen, but then to get feedback. So you can ask for your feedback every year. And I think whether or not you get the application, keep applying, but just having it read and getting that feedback is such a valuable resource. So I encourage everybody to apply for something, because I think that's such a great benefit that people don't talk about a lot. And it's free to apply.
Yeah. And that's not an opportunity that you find in all submission places. Not everybody will even respond to you. You just, once they announce the winners, you just assume you didn't get it. I think that it's a really great opportunity to receive feedback from professionals. And it's when you apply, you just know that a professional has seen it. Mm-hmm. So you might not get it, but that professional might say, that should be on a stage somewhere. I'm going to go talk to some other people about this play. You never know who's talking about you behind closed doors in a good way.
That's right. Honestly, this has happened to me multiple times. I used to facilitate the Core Apprentice program, and I would have readers reach out to me after they'd read a script and say, I loved this play. I would love to be in touch with the playwright because I'd like to schedule their play in our season. Can I reach out to them? Can you send me the information? And so oftentimes that playwright didn't actually get the Core Apprenticeship, but they got this connection to a theater. So you just never know what's going to happen. Right. We can't guarantee that happens, but anecdotally, I can say that's happened to me more than twice.
Yeah. And I mean, that's happened to me personally, is you never know who's throwing your name out in a room of possibilities.
Yeah.
So, and opportunities.
Well, Alayna, we are at an hour.
We are.
Which is crazy. We thought this was going to go by really fast, but the truth is there are many ways to engage with the Playwright Center, and it's always growing. And it's been a lovely hour with all of you. Can we talk a little bit about next session so that we can get folks to start sending in some questions?
Yeah, I'm super excited to have our first guest of our podcast, which is Stacy Rose. So you just won't be listening to Hannah and I's voices. So next episode, we will be talking about starting a career later in life. Everyone has a unique career path and there's no right or wrong time to start. We also know that there's no standard ladder or pathway that you have to follow as a writer. And we're really excited to hear Stacy talk about her journey from being a respiratory therapist to now writing for 911. I never really connected that before. I just realized that's a perfect show for her to be writing for. So for this episode, it's really great if you are a person that's interested in different writing career paths. If you've recently stepped into playwriting as an adult or even after retirement, if you've been feeling discouraged about your career path because it didn't start in your late teens or early 20s and you didn't follow the right path that everyone else supposedly did. If you're feeling stuck or feel like there's no way forward in your career, or if you just love hearing Stacy Rose's voice and want to learn more about her work and hear her thoughts, ideas, and experiences, this would be the perfect episode for you.
Yeah, and we have so many members who are really starting at different points in their lives, even after retirement. Now I'm ready to start writing plays. I have all this life experience and I am focusing on writing plays. So wherever you are in your trajectory in your life, however you began, whether it was at 8 years old, with your pals, or at 70, as you reflect back on a really full and meaningful life and career, let's have a conversation about starting her career later in life.
Yeah.
And that session with Stacy Rose is on Wednesday, October 26th at 12 p.m. Central Time. So check your time zone.
Yeah, that's our show. That's our first show.
I can't wait to do this again. This is really fun. Thanks to everyone who sent in questions, and thanks to those of you who hung out with us online live while we did this. I was a little nervous before we started, but I feel like it went really well.
Yeah. So you might be asking, how do we end a podcast like this? We can't just drop away. We're called Theater Begins Here. So after today's discussion, for me, I'm going to say theater begins with resources.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I like that. Okay. For me, theater begins with an impulse.
Ooh.
To tell a story.
Oh, that's a good one. Well, if you have the impulse, we have the resources.
Yeah.
That was not planned. I would just like people to know that was not planned at all.
Join us next time for a conversation with Stacy Rose on October 26th, which is a Wednesday at 12 p.m. Central Time. Check your time zone, and we'll see you then.